And it's a good way, like especially for programmers, it's a good way for them to, not only get
But anyway, let's head in here.
but also to sort of differentiate themselves and show off their skills.
So that is when you have sort of if you were to say that dude and showed us how long reputation, good reputation points on this network, is there any way to sort of translate that accountability and reputation to other applications, like for instance, like that website that has people that host guests in their house, Airbnb, they have basically reputation in that within that network too. So is there any way to transfer sort of reputation you build in a network like this to other networks? Because it seems like at some point it's going to have to be unified to some degree.
You like taking my question.
Wow.
I was going to ask you what your take is on the unification of profiles.
Right, because it's all going to be connected eventually.
Right, how your reputation here compares to GitHub, and if you would have any interest in combining the two or representing other reputational values across the web on yours.
Do you want to answer that one?
Sure, we do that actually. We have in addition to Stack Overflow, we have a whole careers website called careers.stackoverflow. There it is. And part of it, so it's sort of got two halves. There's one half where the employers list their job listings. There's the other half where, yeah, Spolsky. The other half is that you can come on here and put your own profile up. And that profile does include GitHub if you want it to. So, you can just click Add GitHub. We'll actually go to GitHub and actually pull down we won't pull the actual code from your repositories, but we'll see, how many people have started this, how many followers you got, all that sort of thing, and we'll integrate it all in here. In addition to, of course, your Stack Overflow questions and reputation and all that. So we are going for that. We work with GitHub. There's a bunch of other sites like Bitbucket. You can add the books you've read, or the books you've written, or blog posts you've written, anything like that. Yeah.
So it seems like you guys have a pretty high reputation. How come you guys still consider it?
I'm not. It's arguable that we are at this point because we're about 120 people now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
And
threshold's tough to define.
yeah.
I think whenever you can still wear jeans and a t-shirt and lunch is free, people might call it a startup.
Yeah.
We're probably past that point.
Yeah.
Maybe profitability would have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I suppose a startup is a company that is still sort of hiring aggressively, and hiring, for lack of a better word, speculatively, in the sense. And so the whole reason you take something like venture capital, you don't have to take venture capital. You can bootstrap your company and get it off the ground with a small number of people. The reason you take venture capital, which is what we did a little over 3 years ago, is to accelerate that and to be able to hire a lot of people and basically spend money on hiring people or sort of ahead of time. That's why you do that. And so as long as you're in that phase, I think you might be a startup at that point where you're sort of aggressively hiring, you're not making money yet. You intend to make money, some amount of time down the road. And so by that definition, we still are. We're a good size. We're several offices now. But arguably, we're still a startup.
Do you have an outbound API?
We do. Yeah, all of Stack Exchange, all of Stack Overflow has an API. It's api.stackexchange.com.
And that'll export the profiles and such if people wanted to import those on, say, a LinkedIn profile.
No, not the profiles.
Okay, so you keep it all in-house for that.
Yeah, that's all in-house. The actual,
That's how we make money.
I'm sorry.
I'm giving it away for free.
Yeah, keep the lights on.
The API we have is the question and answer sites.
Yeah.
So if you want to query any type of question, any type of tag, the users on those sites, you can query the users and see their reputations, all that sort of thing. So we have a very full API for that.
Excellent.
I was talking with a friend about this the other day. Your badges system, is that in-house or are you using something like Mozilla Open Badges?
No, we built that.
We built that, yeah. That's all our custom stuff. We get, that allows us to sort of define them however we want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else?
What kind of expansion are you guys looking at in the next year or 2 years? 1 to 5 years, I guess.
Lots.
I don't know.
Yeah, hiring really aggressively. Our London office is actually moving into a new location at the beginning of next month, and the Denver office is also it's like the deal's almost signed for them to move to a bigger location, and then after that, they'll have room to grow to at least, right now there's 13 to 15 in each of those offices, and hopefully by, as soon as they're in the bigger spaces, they'll be able to hire more aggressively to about 40 per office. So
Well, I think Denver is like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
150.
in Denver it might be
So
more.
that's the space that we're looking at in Denver, which Denver and London are both sales offices, so they all look pretty much like the sales floor with the kitchen upstairs. And yeah, they'll be good size.
And then you're still expanding into this space here, obviously.
Yep, eventually we'll kick out the coworkers.
Yeah.